Hello, fam. Hello, fam. Hello, fam. Hello, hello, hello. Um, well, I will say, yeah, that's my closet right there. Um, I would
So,
say
are you going camping or something? What is going?
pretty much. um, well, I could lie to you or those who are watching and say better days ahead, but um, that would be that would be me lying. And I'm gonna start out with this, and I'm not gonna be as loud as I was for the Crystal Palace game. Um, the only thing I'm just gonna say is that I'm watching the NBC telecast, and they're saying exactly the thing I'm saying about the team. First 20 minutes, the team was lifeless for a North London Derby game. Your most hated rivals. I mean, everybody was moonwalking. I mean, not, I don't want to say moonwalking. Sleepwalking. That's the word. That's the word. Sleepwalking. Starting with Deli Ali. Like, man, I hate to agree with a Arsenal, former Arsenal player, but Lee Dixon has been on the money about Deli Ali. And I know Will has mentioned, our players are shit. And I agree. I agree. If you agree our players are shit, I totally agree. The problem is you can have shit players come on that field and try their best, try hard for the badge, and show some heart, show some fight. You did not see that from the beginning of the game. It took all the way to what, the 77th minute to see some ounce of life. That Sonny scoring, good effort by Brian Gill to fight for the ball, pass it to Regulon to Sonny. 78 minutes too late. 78 minutes too late to show some umph. And I think from what I'm looking at Twitter, it's it, the thing that is demoralizing us fan base right now is there was no heart. There was no fight. I don't mind losing. I don't mind losing to the better team, better players. But when you show no effort, I posted the guys were still on the team bus. They weren't on the field. And then Harry Kane, no goals in the Premier League. Um, Mr. Class Professional, has he checked out?
Of course he has. I told you guys that after the first match.
You did. But I don't think people want it. And that's what I posted today. Truth hurts. Truth hurts. Like, when you posted it on your Saturday rant, so I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe it's a conspiracy theory you're going into. But man, bro, he has he has checked out. He has literally checked out. And I hate saying that about that play, but man. So just to wrap it up, there's a lot of things we can say about the performance of the players, but damn, no fight at all, no heart. The badge was disgraced today. I don't mind losing. I hate losing to Arsenal, but we haven't been successful historically at the Emirates. One victory in the last 15, 20 years, whatever at that dump. But man, no heart, no fight. Come on, bro. Well, tell the people the truth. Tell them the truth.
Well, the truth is we don't have any players that are worth a damn. We have a few, and a few only. Right. I don't understand. Um, People were on to Nuno about playing 2 defensive mids and you're calling for him to do something else. He's done something else, and it's gotten worse. So maybe, just maybe, he knew something we didn't know. Right? Have you noticed that since we've stopped playing 2 defensive mids in that 4-3-3, we've conceded far more goals than we did when we didn't?
Yeah.
And apparently it's, Nuno coaches the players to play bad, right? The passing, the first touches, the intensity, the effort, all of that was horrible. But I guess that's all something Nuno's coaching them to do, right? Like he's coaching them to lose intentionally. Right? But the fact that we stopped conceding goals after they brought on another defensive mid in the back end of that 4-3-3, we didn't concede any other goals, and we actually scored one. That's not Nuno. That's not Nuno making that change. He's at fault for that. Like I don't get this thing where people are automatically assuming that managers, once the whistle blows, right? Once the first whistle blows, that all of a sudden the manager can all of a sudden do some, FIFA 22 and cause his players to play better than what they will.
Well, I think, and let me get your opinion about this. He's going to probably get the bad rap, and Daniel Levy's going to probably sack him if this continues. He's going to probably get the bad rap.
Well, of course he's going to get the bad rap, just like Jose got the bad rap, just like Poch got the bad rap. But what I think is so funny is that even in other shows earlier today at halftime, people are saying, we're playing the same as we did last year. Last time I checked, Nuno wasn't our manager last year. And why did we play the way we played last year? Was it because of the players? Right? Because we didn't have good players last season, except for a handful of them, 4 or 5. If you watch any of our shows or any of our channels from the end of last season, from Christmas on to the end, right? It was all about the players. But for some reason, when we go into a transfer window and sign no new players that can effectively impact our first starting 11, right? Our first 11, you think that's going to change, right? You remember, Mari, everybody was saying, right? Deli's going to come good. Ndombele's going to come good, right? All of these players who were garbage last season are going to come good this season. We'll be okay, right? The players that we signed for the future, we're going to be okay. Yeah. I'm not seeing us being okay.
Yeah. It's it is discouraging, and we play Aston Villa next week. Aston Villa, they won. Didn't they beat gosh. Going having a brain fart, but it doesn't look good. It absolutely doesn't look good. And like you said, um, we were complaining about the 3-1-0 victories, and him playing, 2 defensive midfielders, but yeah, it's Nuno's trying to appease the fans, and Nuno's like, this team is not very good.
But I don't understand what they expect him to do. Right? Is Nuno supposed to go out there and make the passes for them? Is he supposed to go out there and make the headers for them? Right? Look at Harry Kane. Talk about being checked out. He's responsible for one of their goals. Gives the ball away, starts half jogging back, doesn't mark the guy that he gave the ball away to, then decides to make a last-ditch effort to run and slide in, play the ball in, they score.
Yeah. And you know what even hurts is just watching Tomiyasu out there, and played well. He played okay, and it's just kind of like, this guy should be a Spur. He wanted to be a Spur.
But we got Emerson Royale, man. the new Royal, right? He's far better than Tomiyasu.
Man,
Far better than Tomiyasu. That was a great
wow.
cross that he put, earlier, about 20 yards behind everybody in the box. That was a great cross.
Big up Rowan O'Donnell. He says, big up Mari and Will. I
Big up
predicted
yourself.
3-1. I big up 3. I predicted 3-1 to Spurs. That is so nice of you. So nice of you. And Liverpool, I know they dropped some points, but they'll be okay. Unlike us, I don't really have a usually you have a remedy. This is what we should do. This is I don't have one. I mean the only thing I could think of is try to play three at the back, but but even then I this team is in some serious trouble. It's just in serious trouble. And the thing is, we made fun of Arsenal, in the beginning of the season, we made fun of Arteta. But Arteta, I would I would give him credit to the sense of he says there's a style of play that we're going to play, and eventually, one day, if he has enough time, he is going to master that plan.
Yeah, but
Get the
Mari's
players
been there for like 2 years, though.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes Rome wasn't built in a day. Sometimes some people to build their philosophy, it's going to take time. Our
People
problem
were
is,
calling for Nuno out after 4 matches.
yeah, yeah. But my question is, and maybe you might know this. What is our philosophy? What is Spurs what is our style of play? Because right now I'm like, we don't have a style. We don't have a philosophy of what we want to do. We sure don't have a DNA. I kept laughing about it all summer long. I'm like, what is this DNA? We don't have a DNA.
But you can't build a DNA without players that can play in a system, right? In which we don't have. I mean, think about it. Think about it. Even just signing one other center back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a right winger, right? If we would have had a right winger, hate beating a dead horse, but let's just say, just for example, Leon Bailey that can play on the right?
Mm-hmm.
That allows Mora to play in the midfield, right?
Mm-hmm.
That allows, that means we don't have to rely on Delhi, right?
Mm-hmm.
It gives us so many more options, but right now we don't. We don't have any other options. We just don't.
Yeah, and
So I don't understand what impact is Nuno able to make off the bench when he has no bench.
yeah, yeah, it's thin as ice. Our bench is it's really as thin as ice, and you could look at my very first stream as I posted, and I'm gonna say this, and I know a fair few people who agree with me, and I know a lot who were complaining will now want to go back to this. And I said this. I said, guys, Jose Mourinho, we should give this dude one more year and truly back him. I was saying, getting Gareth Bale, as nice as it was, Jose wanted skinnier. He wanted skinnier. He wanted to shore up that defense. Fast forward, to maybe March, you hear rumblings of Leon Bailey, Stabitzer, and Skinner. They're like, these are the top three his shopping wish list for the next year. You watch Leon Bailey leave and go to Aston Villa. You watch Stabitzer go for 15 million to Bayern. That's a discount. He goes to Bayern. And trust me, Bayern knows They know how to buy players. And Skriniar is still on Inter, but Inter was they were selling. They got rid of Lukaku. Apparently, they struck a deal with us with Martinez. So you look at those just three adjustments that Jose wanted to do. They canned him. Those targets no longer became our targets anymore. And they were solid targets. Look at the targets that we had. Even Patsadaka was one of Nuno's Jose Mourinho's targets. He gets canned. Paratici then comes in and does not go after any of the previous targets that we have been looking at. Are you telling me this team could have used Bailey, Skriniar, Stabitzer?
No, man, because we bought for the future. We bought for the future. We got Brian Hill, the next Johan Cruyff, who, yeah, he's a decent player, but he's not someone who's going to come off the
Not
bench.
ready-made. Yeah, he's
and
not
do anything.
ready-made. Yeah.
We got Emerson Royale, who I've not been impressed with. Even today when he came on in the second half, it was just if I was going to blame Nuno for anything, that would be the change that I didn't understand.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised when he put him in and took out Tanganga. Yeah, to be honest. Pretty surprised. And I mean, if you had to do a rating, do the ratings on the players, because Sonny scores, he gets a 4, a 3,
no,
or 4?
He gets more than that. I mean, he was the only person running in the first half too. If you rewatch it back, the first half back, right, Son was trying to make runs into the box, trying to create width, but the problem is that our passing was so bad. We were giving the ball away almost every single time across the halfway line. Nobody was tracking back. The midfield was horrible. Dele had a Dele Alli of last season performance. Tanganga Ndombele was horrible, giving the ball away. Right, couldn't get the ball out from under his feet. Was too busy trying to do crossovers and stumbling over it and giving the ball away. Wasn't running. Kane wasn't running. There was no press. It was simply just give the ball away, give the ball away, give the ball away, give the ball away, which opens up, he puts the center backs under a ton of pressure. And we already know that Sanchez isn't a great center back. We already know this. Like, I don't understand why people they're so fickle. Their memories are so short. And that's the thing that frustrates me, right? People's memories are so short. And so who do they place the blame to? Who do they point the finger at? The newest guy, right? Nuno, like he's going to make a difference. And like people are saying, people are comparing, Ryan Mason had a better record in his first 6 games. Yeah, I guess far worse competition than Nunez had to face in the first 4 matches of the season. With arguably better squad. You had Toby playing in that back line. You had, it's just, it's so funny that people's memories are so short that they think that they were so convinced that all of these players were going to magically become good. Not to mention the fact that you have Harry Kane, who's completely checked out. I mean, even my little brother, who's literally been following football for 6 weeks, right, since the beginning of this season, texts me before halftime and says, man, Kane's body language, he's just not in it, man.
Yeah, his body language, the team's body language. I mean, it starts with him, and it's just discouraging. I mean, it almost comes up to a point of, January transfer window. I doubt it, but I mean, it's just Kane has checked out. He
Well, I'm gonna
is
tell you right now, if these performances keep going on like this, I'm gonna start calling for him to be sold in the wintertime. I don't care if I get heat or not. If people hate me because of who Kane is, but I'm telling you right now he looks like Christian Eriksen in his last year.
yeah.
He just does.
And no player is bigger than the club. And if you're not going to put your all out effort in today, horrible passing. I mean, just his attempts. We all know he could do much better than that, and it's just ridiculous, just utterly ridiculous. I'm with you. I mean, if we have to maybe sell them in January, and City comes calling and like, hey, we're ready to fork over that 150. I mean, we're doing it. My worry is
Not even 150, man. Even if they come in for the 100, dude. I mean, I'm serious. To this point, if he's going to continue to play like this all season? What's the point of having him in the squad? Tell me the last time he went 6 matches without a single goal or assist.
I can't think of it. I know the month of August there were a couple years that he started slow, but that's like 2 or 3 games.
Yeah,
And
bro, September's
he gets
over,
run.
man. This is October now.
Yeah, yeah. This is still probably the longest, and I mean, he's fit, right? He's not injured. You know, um, I mean, he scored for the England national team. He has scored in the Europa Conference League, but those two doesn't measure to the Premier League, and he's given us nothing. I mean, you almost come to a point where you have to bet him for Scarlet. I mean, if it was anybody else, you would have to, but it's Harry Kane. You could have fathomed to do that, but it almost is. You're almost to the point of just why not? Uh, those people are watching.
Nuno gets the sack hard, man. I'm telling you, the way this fan base is, I don't think that they're reasonable. Like I honestly want somebody to tell me, what is Nuno supposed to do in the first half after the whistle blows? What is he supposed to do? Right? He can holler from the sideline. He can tell the players to do this and that. But if they're not going to do it, if they don't carry it out, right? So unless you're insinuating that he's coaching them to play poorly, right? I mean, we're talking about professional level players here, right? It's their job once the whistle blows to go out there and play the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. Folks who want to jump on in, you guys could jump in. I just posted the link. If you want to jump in and have your say, you can. Um, and I guess the million dollar question is, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? And you know, a couple of people were just saying, I said this. I said, the Europa Conference League, it's very, very important to us. It's very, very important to us in the sense that we need to qualify for the Europa League. People laughed, but now it's not so funny. It's not so funny. I mean, it is like that should be very important to us. The Europa Conference League.
Look, I just don't know. I want somebody to tell me what Nuno's supposed to do with this group of players. What's he supposed to do? Who is he supposed to bring off the bench in order to score 3 goals? Brian Hill? Brian Hill's going to come off the bench and score 3 goals? I mean, what's he supposed to do? Who's he supposed to bring on? How is he supposed to impact a match?
Yeah.
When the only substitutes he has available is a right back, a defensive midfielder, and a left winger who's 20 years old and never played at this level.
This is where now we have to bring up. And I know we have had arguments. Everybody's having arguments in regards to, and some people they say joking around, but Paratici, did he not look at this lineup and said this is thin of a lineup? We don't have reinforcements. I have about four, 5 pictures of the teams: Chelsea, City, Liverpool, United, West Ham, and they showed their backups to their starting 11. Some of those teams I mentioned go 3 deep. And if Paratici is such a genius, why is our squad built? And Bob Spur says this as best, built to be so thin that if we had injuries, which has happened to us, or international controversies, Romero and Lo Celso, or just bad performance in general, that we don't have any reinforcements. Absolutely no reinforcements, unless you count the position of well, no, I can't. Session is not playing. So I mean, we're thin. We're extremely thin, and and you have to go back. People's like, well, it's not fair. It's like his first window. He needs a couple of windows. I get that, but that
But then
doesn't
why
mean.
doesn't Nuno need a couple windows?
And that is the question. That is a absolutely good question. But I will say this with Paratici is just that I'm not buying that argument because you have to have your team. This is a Premier League team, not a championship level team. This is a Premier League team. You have to build that depth. You have to. You cannot have a 17-year-old as your backup striker. You just can't. And so Bergvine was out. Lucas was out. It would have been nice to have a Bailey to slip in those two's position. Sonny's out. You pretend you're depending on Brian Hill. It's just It starts from the top, but Paratici didn't do us any favors. Full Bull says Levy doesn't care about the result, unfortunately. He's already made some dough from the AJ Usyk fight. Yeah, absolutely. What an appalling performance. Embarrassing. Yeah, absolutely agree. Sybil says, you, my friend, what's up? Not much. In the picture is super fan Mr. Chris. Chris, did the team? Okay, we lost them. But about the team death. Well, on what I said, I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying this though since what? I want to say I've been saying this exact same thing since August, since the beginning of August. Everybody said, "Don't worry, we're going to sign new players. Don't worry, the players that were shit last season are going to be come good this season. Don't worry, don't worry, Chris. You told me not to worry."
Do you know what, Will? I'm eating my own words now. I'm eating my own words. After today, that's it for me. Those Deadwood players. Do you know what? I can't even speak. I can't.
It's all right, Chris.
Mario, I haven't even got the words to speak. How hurt and disgusted I am. Bunch of spineless, no good, bunch of overplayed players we've got. I've got no words for it.
You know, Chris, I said this as the Mets were going to halftime. And there's been some bad performances, at Zagreb, and there's been some bad performances. but this is a North London derby, right? You just came from a penalty kick, mind you being, it's the Carabao Cup, but this is you have had the hardest week, losing one of your great legends in Jimmy Greaves. You come in a North London derby, knowing that the fan base is wanting you to fight for the badge. Like I said, I mean, us losing, okay, we lose. But when you lose and you don't put an ounce of a fight until maybe the 78th minute, where the players showed no heart, people not tracking back. It wasn't only Dele Ali, it was a couple players not tracking back. Just the body language, starting with Kane. Like, that was absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And I said this, I posted on Twitter. It's like they didn't leave the team bus.
Leave the team bus. They should be there's so many of those players that they should not even be anywhere near that first team. And one thing I will say, Mari, everybody's been going on recently about Hugo Lloris being captain. Now, I've always said it, and I will say this till the end. A goalkeeper should not be captain. His voice is not heard. It should be somebody in the middle of that pitch who can rally those players. When we went one down, I didn't see nothing from Lloris trying to get those players' heads back up again. It just went downhill very, very quickly. I am disgusted. I am absolutely disgusted with those players today. No heart, no spine, no soul, nothing. Tanguy's on 200 grand a week. What did he do? Kane's on 200 grand a week. What did he do? Nothing. Nothing at all.
Good question.
I'm saying nothing. I can't say nothing.
No, I can't. I mean, it's speechless. Bryce is in the house. Bryce asks, Will, what are your thoughts on Hill today?
I mean, he was decent, but he was nothing. He was nothing. He gave the ball away a bunch. Yeah, he worked harder than the Dele Ali did. But it's not like he came out and, he won a ball back and played a pass into Reguilon that obviously wasn't intentional, right? It was more just like blocking a shot that bounced into Reguilon's path. So it's not like it was his creative mantra that, prowess that got us that particular goal. I'm glad that it happened. But I mean, what a cross in from Reguilon, right? Pinpoint in stride. Yeah. Son takes one touch and finishes it, right? There's only three players today who I thought gave effort, and that was Højbjerg, Son, and Reguilon. Everybody else can go in the bin.
Yeah. I would have to add Hill there because of that effort. Okay. Yeah. But
at least he showed a better fight.
Yeah. And I will read this. Though I still disagree with him and what he thinks of Brian Davies and Harry Winks are as regard as players, but I will say this. Football says, turns out Alex was right all along when he said we were relegation candidates. I was naive for thinking that he was talking rubbish. I won't say regulation, but man, talk about maybe finishing anywhere between 8th and 13th. Yeah. I'm not ready to say the
Murray, we're going to struggle to get top 10, man. We're struggling to get top 10 if they carry on like this. We're not even going to finish 13th. But we're not even finish 13th, 15th, 16th if we're lucky the way the performances are going. I am absolutely gobsmacked how bad we were. It's just the players are giving up. The coaches don't know what they're doing. And everybody's saying it's at the top. Yes, it is the owners as well, with lack of investment and the manager search and all this bollocks they've come out with, yeah? Let's get it right. The buck stops on that pitch today with those players. Shameless players. have no spine, no bottle, no guts. That's what came to today.
But no,
Arsenal
Chris, that's not what's going around
Arsenal,
right now. What's going
Arsenal
around right
turned
now
up.
is Nuno's fault, man. Everybody's blaming Nuno. He went out there and made him play like that.
Arsenal turned up today. We didn't. Period. And it is Nuno's fault for the tactics. But who hired Nuno? It was the ones at the top.
What tactics should he have played differently in the first half?
I don't think. Do you know what? I just don't know what tactics he was playing in the first place, Will. I really lost it. I don't know. Was lost halfway about 15th minute. What tactics we were actually playing?
I don't think the tactics would have mattered. Those guys, they had no heart. They were still on the team bus. They were still on the team bus. Like, literally, you should put this person. You should put that person. I saw no difference. That team, look, it's a North London derby. The team, they said it on national TV. I don't know who on Sky who was announcing. I'm assuming it was Gary Neville, but Lee Dixon's like, and he's an Arsenal guy. But he said, "Man, Spurs, like, did they come to play? Did they come literally? Did they come to play?" And you have to question that. Spurs 72, welcome, brother. He said, "Hiya, chat. Hi, Mari and crew. I'm gutted, depressed, hurt, all painful adjectives. North London Derby showed Nuno's skill depth."
Yeah.
And I mean,
can't argue.
We could go on and on, and that's a Paratici deal right there, because he set us up. He set us up to not have any depth whatsoever. And it's embarrassing because we're supposed to be a Big Six club. Big Six club.
We're not. Not anymore. We're not. We're not anymore, Murray. Not anymore. We've showed our true colours today. We're not a top six club, man. No, not anymore. We're a fake top six club, man. We overachieved for years on end, and now we're seeing the real side of us.
We have two people in the house, a first timer.
Eugene.
We got Eugene, and we have a first timer, Jamie. From are you in Manila?
I'm in Manila, but I'm Eugene's co-host at Spurswasion.
Okay.
Yeah, Jamie.
And guys, I'll give you the way. I'll just preface this as we've been saying. Doesn't matter the tactics. Doesn't matter. Basically, the whole team was still on that team bus. They disgraced the badge today. Absolutely no heart.
Well, Eugene's got a better analogy. He's a better description of what happened.
Okay, guys, we are soulless. That's all.
Yeah, we are, Eugene. I 100% agree with you. 1000% agree. And soulless that's an understatement.
Yeah, no, soulless, and we've been soulless since Poch left. Think about it. And
this is one of the lowest lows.
Yeah, and these are the same group of guys when Poch was there, and not much changes. And these group of guys are still there.
They threw under the bus. They threw Poch.
Yeah.
They threw Jose, Poch under the bus. Soulless team.
Yeah. So I do not know what to say anymore. Right? There was
Eugene. They're all cowards. All cowards. Spineless cowards.
The thing is,
a lot of them.
In the problem is that it's not all of them are cowards. There are a lot of them are cowards that has brought. I think it's like a disease. It's a virus. You get a few of them who has it, and then it spreads. So if we don't get rid of those, right, we will never improve. Like today is that, to tell the truth, Nuno doesn't have the capabilities to turn us around. Simple as that.
Has everyone caught the Kane depression?
Yeah, and
it looks like Jamie. It looks like it.
I gotta talk to Bryce here on this. I'll give you a tactic. No Dele in a starting side. Who plays there then? Who plays there? What
There's no one.
Plays there? If Dele doesn't play, who plays?
Mm-hmm.
There's no one to replace him, is there? There's no one who can play in that position. So we have no choice but to play him there.
But what about change of formation?
He can't change the formation. It's obvious that Daniel Levy is forcing him to play a 4-3-3. That was the whole stipulation with him being hired in the first place. Right? This is not. I don't understand how Nuno is getting the grunt for this when it's down to Daniel Levy, and then before you get to Nuno, it starts with Daniel Levy being the problem, then Paratici being the problem, then Nuno can be a problem, and that's only because the players that are on the pitch aren't good enough. They haven't been good enough for 3 seasons now. This is the 3rd season that the players have not been good enough. I've been pounding that drum for almost 6 months now, and people aren't getting it.
Agreed, Will. But now I just want to comment on Scott's comment, where he's saying Skip, Gio are much better options than Delhi. What did Gio do last week against Wolves on Thursday? Absolutely jack shit.
Nothing. Horrible.
Nothing. No, hold on. Well, I ain't finished yet. Right now, what did he do against Chelsea last Sunday when we lost 3-0 again? What did Gio do against Chelsea? Absolutely jack shit. So I'm sorry, but Gio wouldn't have made any difference to that team. And neither would Skip today, to be fair. The team just did not show up. So, Scott, I don't agree with the Gio comment, mate.
Yeah. But, Will, do you think Nuno has the capabilities of turning this group of guys around?
No one has the capabilities of turning this group of guys around. That's obvious. If Jose Mourinho can't turn this group of players around, if Pochettino couldn't turn this group of players around, who can? Klopp?
No one can.
And can I tell you guys something? I don't know if you guys take a little peek at the Serie A. And I know it's not the Premier League, but people sure are happy at Roma. And I said this when he signed Roma. I said, watch Roma qualify for top 4. And right now, they're in top 4, and there's smiles all over. And I look at that team. That team got some talented players. Players that we will link to, Zaniolo, Pellegrini, and the rest of those boys. You mentioned Jose. Jose is he's smiling. He's happy right now. He's
Jose's
smiling
laughing at us now. He's laughing at us now, isn't he?
He's smiling right now.
And it's all Levy's fault. It's all Levy and Inch's fault. They're the ones to blame for Jose. They're the ones who thought they'd be clever and sack him just before the cup final to screw us over to make sure they didn't have to pay him out at the end of the season. And now who's the one laughing at us? Jose. No one else worried Jose.
I gotta push back on this, right? Because people were screaming for Nuno to stop playing 2 defensive midfielders in that midfield. They were screaming for it. And now all of a sudden, they want Skip back in with a Højbjerg, Skip and somebody else in that midfield. You guys' memories are so short, right? Be consistent. Be consistent. That's all I'm asking you to do. If you're going to say it's Nuno's fault, it's Nuno's fault because he's playing 2 defensive mids. And then all of a sudden he stops playing 2 defensive mids, and now it's his fault because he didn't? Come on now. That's not fair. You're not being reasonable.
Fans are like that, Will. Yeah, they're always not reasonable, to tell the truth, right?
I
We all
wanna-
know that. Yeah.
Brother Scott is in the house. He says, and they were right to fire Jose. Because I didn't meet you guys before that. Will, I explained to Will why I was still I was still Jose in. I was still Jose in because I believe we did not have a plan. We did not have a plan, and I was right because we went over 70 days without having a coach. We hired a director of football, and I was like, "Oh, if we wanted to go back to the hands of time and not fire our coach during the week of the Carabao Cup final, without a plan." And my reason of Jose staying was, okay, let's finally get his players. Let's finally get Skriniar. Let's get Sabitzer and Leon Bailey. Those were some of the players we were linked to. I said, let's give him one more year, finally back this dude, so we can see if we could be a ultimate counter-attacking football team. Because Atletico won the La Liga being a counter-attacking team. Chelsea won the Champions League with that style. People say, "Oh, it doesn't work." Oh, it works. It works. But
If you have the players.
if you have the players. And so what ended up happening is Daniel Levy, of course, the genius that he is, fires him the week of maybe he gets a bonus and he didn't want to pay that bonus if he wanted the Carabao Cup, fires him without having a vision, without having a plan, without having a vision, without having a plan. And now we're in the position that we are now. And mind you, granted, trust me, if you had to fire Jose and you were bringing Ten Hag in, I would. At that time it was Nagelsmann. It was supposed to be Nagelsmann.
It don't matter who we would have got in. It wouldn't have made a difference, Murray, who we got in as a manager. The state of our team, the state of our owners, it makes no difference if you get Conte, Nagelsmann, Ten Hag. You can get even Sam Allardyce in. It'll be the same situation. We'll be in the same spot we're in now. It's that simple. It's that simple. There's nothing else you can say. It's that simple. No matter who you get in, it's going to be the same shit that we've seen.
100% it's going to be the same. Why is it going to be the same? Why?
Because of the owners.
Players aren't good enough.
Yeah, players ain't good enough. And the owners don't see that. And they just think, oh, we'll make a quick profit off them, Will.
Chris, the owners see it. They want it like that.
Yeah,
That's
because
the
they want to
problem.
make the profit off them.
Yeah.
Keep Delhi playing, or we might get a better price for him. And then everybody's saying, oh, they should sell the club. Who the hell is going to buy our club from us when Daniel Levy's put £3.5 billion on the club's head?
What a joke.
Yeah. Who's going to pay that? Who's going to be stupid enough to pay that? No one, because they don't want to sell.
Nah. He thinks
While
it's
they're making
3.5 billion. That's all.
While he's making a profit off the club, he doesn't care. And it's telling through right. It's a poison right through the club, right through it.
Like, I really hate doing this because I didn't want it to be the case, but everybody was calling me negative during the transfer window.
Yes.
No, it's all Will.
Everybody was saying that I was crazy when I said that Kane has checked out. Everyone has been pushing on that, and everything
I agree.
that I've said has come spot on.
Yeah.
Right.
Will, I agreed with you when you said Kane had checked out. I was one of the ones that agreed with you. And I said, Will's 100% correct that Kane's checked out. He don't give a toss.
Yeah.
I was one of the ones who actually did agree with you.
Well, that's good. I'm because it's obvious. It's obvious.
It is. You saw it against Crystal Palace, Will. We saw it against Chelsea last week and today again. 3 games in a row where he just does look like he does not give a shit if he's there or not.
I mean, if I was Nuno, but this is the thing, is that he'll get crucified either way, either by Daniel Levy or by the fans or both. I say you bench him, play Son up there, right? Once Stevie Bergwijn's back fit, you play Stevie B on the left, Son up top, Moore on the right, and get back to that form, that fight, that passion that we saw against City in the first match. Because I'm telling you, and I know that correlation doesn't equal causation, but when did our performances start going downhill?
When Kane came back
in the side.
But you know what, Will? Nuno hasn't got the balls to drop Harry Kane. And you know why? Because Daniel Levy's sitting there putting the pressure on him. You must play him. You must play him. You must play him. Yeah? And this must play him is costing us big dearly.
But now I'm going to throw this out there, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I think that you see us switch to a 3 at the back next week. I think this result today would be enough evidence for Nuno to go to Daniel Levy and say, see, I can't play 4 at the back with this squad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? I'm telling you that he's getting pressure from Paratici.
That was plainly obvious from last season. That was plainly obvious from last season, though. We can't play 4 at the back. Dyer's not good enough. Sanchez isn't. He's starting to show himself.
Watching, Scott?
Can get more than when? In what minutes, Scott?
What match were you watching today?
Will, what minute was did Kane put any effort in? Because I can't remember seeing that.
He put
Yeah.
after he gave the ball away and then walked back towards the box. He ran for about 10 yards real quick, slid and missed. That was the only effort that Cade put in all day today.
Oh, is that when we conceded the third goal when he slid in
that was
and
when we
missed it?
conceded this girl because he gave the ball away. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Kane was horrible today. Absolute rubbish.
I can't. It was 10 of the 11 players on the pitch weren't good enough today. Maybe probably about 3 if we were lucky. Maybe 8 out of the 11 were absolutely shocking, but 3 of them put in a little bit of effort.
Okay, Spurs 72. I don't agree with you. The coach does pick the team. Who else could he have picked that would have made today's result not happen? Who else could the manager have selected?
There was no one else to select.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
yes,
true.
the manager is at fault, but it's only because he doesn't have options, right? If my only option is failure, let's put it like I'll throw it to my business, right? Right now there's a paper shortage going on. I don't know what the paper shortage is, but I'm only allowed to buy 50 shipping tubes a month, right? A month. So if I'm selling 30 something products, if I normally ship out 30 to 40 products a week, and my boss says to me, "Why aren't your sales higher?" Well, because I can only sell 50 a month. I'm limited to that. I can't sell more than what I can ship. Right? And Nuno can't play players he doesn't have.
See, now we've got a 50 plus million euro defender sitting on the bench, and he still chose to play Sanchez and Dyer. For me, I don't understand it. Emerson, a 30 million euro right back, and Gill, 21 million pounds sitting on the bench. Now, I just can't see that the reasoning behind that. To be honest with you, Will, is it why are they just being left on the bench to rot on the bench? They should, if they're our best players that we brought in, they should be starting the games week in, week out.
But Emerson, what did Emerson do when he came on?
Absolute jack shit.
Exactly. He's been horrible ever since he got here. So there's obviously
He's-
a reason why Tanganga went straight back into the side. Why? Because
Yeah,
Tanganga's been playing good.
But logically speaking, right, Romero, when he came back from Syria, he was the best centre back in Syria last season. But this season, we've seen nothing from him. He's had a couple of games where he looked suspect, like he's not capable. What do we say?
Yeah.
Scott M is in the house. Welcome, Scott.
Hey guys.
Hi guys.
You've put some comments, some posts. Explain away, Scott. Explain away.
I don't think Kane was great today. I just think that he showed more effort than a lot of people. Like him giving a 2 out of 10 effort is better than basically everyone else in their 0 out of 10 effort. I don't think it was a great performance. That's not what I'm saying. I just think today he had a little bit more effort than the rest of
Not at all. From what I watched, Scott, I don't agree with you. I'm sorry, but Scott, from what I watched today, that Kane has lost all the will to play for Tottenham Hotspur. He's lost all that will, and it showed in the last 3 games. Not just today, the last week against Chelsea, the week before against Crystal Palace. I'm sorry, Kane just does not give a damn about us.
I haven't seen it, but
I would say like a half effort Kane is probably better than some of our other players' full effort. I don't disagree with that. But what I'm saying is he's not him being there. Him not
in the club
100% doesn't inspire the other boys to give 100% either.
Yeah. He's not contributing. That's all. Being on the pitch, right? Whatever has happened to him has happened to him. And like a lot of us feel now, right? If he's not contributing on the pitch, take him off. That's it. Take him off. Give someone else a chance.
I'd rather have a 30 million pound striker in there who has fire in his belly than a 150 million pound striker that doesn't want to be there.
Ivan
Yeah.
Toney.
Yeah, but
He was
the transfer-
brilliant yesterday against.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
he was the driving force of the whole thing. Yeah, and to tell the truth, we don't have that kind of driving force in us, like I said.
Well, if
our
Harry
players have-
Kane was happy, we would, but Harry Kane is disaffected. So
Yeah, that's why, and it's spreading around. The whole team is.
yeah, that's what
being like
I
that,
told
right?
you. The whole team's catching the Harry Kane depression.
Mm-hmm.
The virus is spreading around the club.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
and it was planted by
You know
El
who?
Capitan, Mr. Levy.
Yeah. Yeah. But
The one who rates our club £3.5 million to be sold. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
No, well, what was it back in the back in the time? It was complaining about Irvin Scholar. All we've got is just a remixed version of Irvin Scholar. It's just it's supposed to be a football club, not a business. And no matter what we do, the players we bring in or the way that we're playing, it's all just machinations of Daniel Levy to try and keep his money flowing and stop us from revolting. But unfortunately, the revolt is starting.
But Jamie, don't forget, Jamie. Yeah, Daniel Levy don't give a shit anyway because he's got his boxing money for the Anthony Joshua fight last night, and he's going to get the NFL money anyway. So he don't give a damn about the Tottenham because he's got his little free event.
That's what I'm saying. He's the head of the snake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's the whole body of the snake.
Let's play percentage-wise. We'll go all around. By the Christmas period where we have a run of games, is Nuno? What percentage is Nuno still our head coach? And if he's not, I assume Mason's coming in. So, what is the percentage by Christmas that Nuno is still our coach?
I would say that it's at the moment it's 75%, and by the skin of his teeth. It'll be like, see what happens in the January window. If that still looks as bad as we did before the window, then it won't just be players we're looking for in the window. It'll be a new manager.
It's got to be 100%. He's got to be able to get players, actual players. We didn't sign anyone this summer. No one. We signed no one, right? Maybe Romero, but even he has looked shaky over the last 2 or 3 matches he's played. We
50-50
signed no one.
I think it's 80. I mean, that implies that Levy is going to admit that they made a mistake when they hired him. I don't think that he'll do that. That implies that Levy's going to pay somebody out again. I don't think he's going to do that. So I don't think that there's much. I think, I'll say 80 because, I mean, there's always a chance maybe he's looking to scapegoat him, but I don't think that it's likely that he's going to be fired by then.
It's a 50-50 chance for me. 50%, 50-50 chance that Nuno could be gone by December, but I can't see it happening realistically.
Look, I hope now.
But maybe Levy wants to keep us in mediocrity. He just wants to keep the money together.
You have to consider now the fans are back, meaning that you will get boos. It's not empty stadiums now. You will have fans booing, and if they're booing till Christmas time, it's pretty likely that he's going to be the sitting duck on this one in regards of being fired. Because now the fans are back.
I hope
the boo made no difference.
This is coming out of my frustration of people not being rational and reasonable. I hope they do sack him. I hope they sack him this week. And then Mason can come in and you can see things get even worse.
Yeah.
And then what are people going to say? Right? I hope they do sack him because it's absolutely ridiculous to place the blame on Nuno. Yes, he's picking the teams, but he doesn't have options, right? Brian Hill is not the player that people think he is. He's not. Emerson Royale is not the player that people think he is. It's obvious, right? Brian Hill, and except for that one lucky block that ended up in front of Reguilon, right, did not do anything any more than any other player was doing out there today. He didn't. He gave the ball away several times, right? His passes were
Yeah.
sloppy. His touches were sloppy. Yeah, he gave more effort because like Lamella, he's got like ADHD, right? He's this hyper guy on the pitch, right? That's just his style. He's always going to be that. And if you think that being hyper on the pitch means you're a good footballer, I'm sorry, it's not. You're just hyper.
True. Yeah. Like I said, no end product in the end. Still no end product in the end.
Brother Aaron, welcome to the show. He says, "Wouldn't be surprised if Chris Hugton takes over
Houghton.
since Houghton takes over since he got the boot from Forrest." What do you guys think about that?
I think it's Raywick coming from our Irish buddy. It's good. The smoke screens of the first three matches. The seeming activity in the transfer window, when you actually look at it, it's all loan deals and then one of the most exciting players, the Mets guy, he gets sent straight back to play for Mets. We're just it's Levy giving with one hand, taking with the other, and us still being stuck in the crap.
Yep.
Yeah. But to tell the truth, right, guys, right? For the Asian betting scene, right, Spurs won the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, but that's what's funny. That's what's funny. I think it's so
Oh.
I think this is so
Fuck.
ironic, right? People say it's down to the manager. It's down to the manager. Nuno's trash. But he made changes that ended up making us win the second half. But does he get any credit for that?
No, never. Right.
Why?
I don't know. Fans like that. Overall, you lost, right? So, just saying, Will.
But no,
All of us
he
have-
did his job.
all-
What is the
yeah.
manager supposed to do in the first half? When he sets
Yeah.
they train for a thing, they have a plan, the players go out on the pitch, the whistle blows. Can he then take his PlayStation controller and make them do what he wants them to do? No,
No,
he
he
has
can't.
to rely that they're going to carry out what his tactics were. He made 2 changes at halftime. They stopped us from conceding goals. Added Hill at the 65th minute, right? That gave us a little bit more pep than Delhi, right? Because Delhi wasn't doing anything, right?
Yeah.
Of course, Hill is going to look better than Delhi's first half. How could you not, right? You could probably stick my 13-year-old kid out there on the pitch, and he's going to have more energy than Delhi did in the first half. He might not be as effective, but he's going to show more passion and fight.
Yeah.
And to say that we don't score another goal unless Hill's on the pitch, I'm sorry, Cody.
Yeah.
There's no way that you can justify that at all.
That's true. Yeah, but in the end of the day, I understand all the frustrations among the fan base and all that. But like we have been saying, right, the problem goes all the way to the top. If we don't
Exactly.
solve
So
the
just
top-
point the
top,
finger where it
yeah,
goes.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I understand. The problem goes all the way to the top. And if the top doesn't do anything that solves the problem at the bottom, so right, everybody's to blame, right? And the worst part of it, most probably the fans also are to blame, correct? Right? Because we allow this to happen for 20 years. So now the ego is so big, right? They can't fall. That's the problem. Right? So guys, it's gonna be 3:30 here, 2:30 my time here, and for
2:30,
Jamie,
same here, yeah. It's
we gotta make a
time to
move.
get a bit of shot.
Yeah, we gotta make a move. Yeah, get something to
But,
eat.
we
Catch up,
love
you guys. Yeah,
Yep. Love
Thank
you
you
all.
guys. Thank you,
Always
Jamie.
be there
Thank
for
you,
you.
Eugene.
yeah,
But
Thank you.
Levy, take a hike.
yeah.
Yep.
Levy out, right, guys?
Levy
Thanks,
out.
Will. Yeah, Chris, nice to meet you again. Right, Scott, catch up later, with you guys.
Hey,
Right.
Mari,
Eugene. See you, Jamie.
Yeah,
Will.
all right.
Good night.
Right.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. My Canadian
Good
brother.
night, all.
Good night. Good night.
So, Scott, what are you looking? What do you think needs to happen ongoing? These next couple matches now that we have the Conference League coming back up. We have, let me see the schedule. I want to say Aston Villa we play. what are you looking? What are you looking for to show some sign of life for this club?
I mean, to be honest, I don't really have much hope. I don't think there's much. Like, I don't think there's some magical player that we haven't been using enough that is going to come in here and save us. I would say for me that I don't see why we wouldn't go to a 3 at the back. Seems to make the most sense. I don't know if it's, like I said, I don't think it's going to mean all of a sudden we're competing for top 4, but it seems like it would give us some better options for us. Outside of that, I hope Romero plays. I hope now we can kind of see Dyer and Sanchez got by more on the fact that we didn't put them in positions today where they actually had to recognize threats and move up and stop those threats. So hopefully those guys are done as a pair, and we can start to see Romero, who, like Will said, is a little bit shaky at times, but I've seen a lot more positive from him than I have from either Dyer or Sanchez either. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm coming off as Nuno out. I don't think Nuno is the problem. I don't think it's the players. That's the issue. The fact that we started this game with 0 signings from the summer. We saw our team last year and complained about our team all last year. And then we come to the North London Derby and play every single player that we had available last year for a team that sucked is ridiculous. So I don't know. It's hard to see a lot of positives right now. It's hard to see how things get better going forward because it needs to be a massive turnover of players.
For me, I don't think. Do you know what? Even with the formation change, if we go to 3 at the back, I can't see much of a difference being made. To be honest with you, because the buck stops with those players that are being picked week in, week out. So, but as Will said, what choice does Nuno have? If the Deadwood are there, they're going to be used no matter what.
Yeah, I think 3 at the back might keep us from conceding as many as we are now. Right, but I think we need to go back to having 2 defensive mids in the midfield. I'd rather win 1-0 off a fluke goal than lose 3-0 every single week. And that's why I don't understand why the fans are so fickle, right? It's like Nuno can't win, right? And you're not being fair then, right? You're simply grinding an axe at this point, right? He plays 2 at the back. We're winning 1-0, but we're not creating a lot of chances or having a lot of possession, and people complain. We stop playing 2 defensive midfielders in the midfield, and we start conceding, leaking goals like like somebody just jumped on with golf spikes on a waterbed, and people complain. Then he's going to go to 3 at the back because we don't have creativity. There's no one in our side who creates creativity, right? So the only thing that I can see is you sit Kane and you go back to you start playing Romero, which I said we should have been playing Romero from the beginning, but everybody said no. You can't break up this partnership because they're doing such a great job, which I thought
agree
was
with you there. I agreed with you there. I had no problem.
I agree.
Dyer, I agree. You're 100% right there.
You sit Sanchez, you play Romero alongside Dyer, and you, which is a shame that we didn't buy 2 center backs, which is what I wanted to do. We bought 1. You play Romero alongside Dyer, you bench Kane, and you go to that same formation and/or tactics that you had against City, and you run with that. And that's what I would do. But going to 3 at the back is not going to create any more chances. It's not. We're not going to see any more goals than we're seeing right now because the players simply aren't good enough.
They're definitely not good enough. And they proved it week in, week out. But if those players are there, we got no choice but to play them. We have no choice. They're not good enough. We all know they're not good enough. We all can see it. Dele's more interested than going on Instagram than he is actually playing football. And it's just
I think what's
too many problems.
What's concerning with Dele is that he doesn't look like this year. He looks like he is interested, but he just has nothing to offer. Like, that's my concern, is that he came back and was running and trying, but it's just his product is the problem. Like, I mean, he gives away the ball so easily.
Yeah.
Like, my concern is that he has come back this year, shown that he has some interest. I think recently, he's been waning a little bit. He hasn't given the but even when he was running around and doing all that, he still wasn't doing much. He was just running around. And that's the concern I have with Delhi, is that we can't really use that excuse that he doesn't care anymore. Now it just looks like he just isn't good enough anymore.
I think Tomiyasu looked more than all right today. He's far better than Emerson is.
Yeah. Yeah.
We missed the boat on Tomiyasu, that's for sure.
Yeah. And we Emerson was more than Tomiyasu.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
Twice the price. Not
Daniel
just
Levy's
more.
bright
the price.
ideas.
Yeah.
Daniel Levy's bright ideas.
Yeah. It's just, I'm scratching my head here. Just watching Tomiyasu play. I'm like, why is this guy not Spurs player? He wanted to be a Spur.
£2 million. £2 million more. That's all that was needed to prize him away from Bologna. And Daniel Levy dug his heels and goes, no, we'll give him 15. Bologna said we wanted 17. Daniel Levy stuck his little heels in again and goes, I ain't paying that. And who got the better deal at the end of it? Not us.
Pochettino had a far better squad than Nuno does.
Yeah.
Right, you're talking Kyle Walker, right? Danny Rose,
Dembele.
and Toby in the back, and Dumbelli in the midfield, right? Wanyama, before
Christian
he
Eriksen.
went out, Christian Eriksen, a Dele Ali who was fresh out of kids land and was had a bone to pick with everybody.
Yeah.
Son Heung-min, who was scoring at least 8 to 10 goals a season. You can't even compare the squads. It's not even close.
It's not close. Not close.
We sold some of our better players. Never replaced one of them. Didn't replace Kyle Walker. Didn't replace Dembele. Didn't replace Eriksen. And that's where the ambition goes right out the window. And today we're sitting in this situation.
Yeah, it's depressing. It really, really is. And now, like I said, we go into the conference league game. We get to play. I can't.
The Farmers team.
Amora, and so it's that's where we should hope to be able to win a trophy, because that's the only way we can qualify for Europe. Because if you think Arsenal was tough, I mean Aston Villa, I rate Aston Villa much better than Arsenal, even despite Arsenal's 3-game win streak. So I mean, we are in trouble. We are definitely in trouble, and it's just who when are these players are going to recognize that now? I mean, all eyes are on them. All eyes are on them, and today was a performance of just I gotta look up after this. What does Harry Kane have to say about today's performance? This is a North London derby. He loves scoring in these games. What does he have to say for himself?
He doesn't have anything to say for himself. And Bob was right, and I was right too. I asked Mario. I was fighting that point just as hard in that Twitter group as Bob was. That our squad is weaker this year than last year.
No depth. And it's looked upon, if you said that, as weakness. I was complaining, yes, we are thin, but we need some creativity. Get some players in. I know we had that, little debate. All right, get a creative, right winger in. I was like, get a creative CAM in. Either or, I'll be happy. Either or. And we got none. And now the truth hurts. The truth hurts.
Well, the players we brought in outside of Romero are all players in positions that were already, if not strong at, we have arguably better players, right? Like people say, oh, we brought Skip in, but we already have Højbjerg in that role, so he's not really adding that much. We brought in Brian Hill. Well, we already have Son to play that role, so he's not really adding much, right? We brought in Royal. Well, I don't think Royal's better than Tanganga, so are we adding much? But we
We haven't had
we have no
anything.
right winger. So bring in everybody you want. We have no right winger.
What I was saying, Scott. I was saying that. Everybody told me I was dumb.
I said 3 out of 10 every time for the window. I agree with you, Will. We might not always agree on Nuno and other things, but that one I 100% agree with you.
No right winger, no one in the midfield, right? I thought Nuno coming in, they were going to let him play 3 at the back. So if you're going to play 3 at the back, bringing in a creative midfielder isn't as important. But it's obvious that we don't, if we're going to play 4 at the back, that we are lacking in the midfield. We're lacking creativity in the midfield. We're lacking any type of, like I said, Lucas Moura, if he was not playing on the right wing, he could be used in the midfield and he would be far better than Dele or Tanguy Ndombele or anybody else in that role, right? The thing that is killing us right now is the fact that we never replace Bale. We don't have anyone who is a first string right winger right now. Stevie B, he's injured now, but still he's not quality.
See, everybody was screaming to bring Tanguy back into the fold, right? And what are we seeing from him for the last few weeks?
I think though a lot of that is just because we are desperate for anything, right, Chris? Like we're just desperate, and I think some people obviously are always going to be a little bit deluded, as Cody said down there. But I think even people like myself, I wanted Tanguy to play, but that was because I was hoping that there was a slight chance that he could offer something, because there's nothing else. Like he's far from ideal. That's even if I say I want Brian Hill to play. Like I don't want him to play, but considering we have nobody else, then I'll have him play over Dele. But I don't. Yeah, like Tanguy. I mean, it's just desperation point at this season is hoping that
he'll come good, but he has his little spells for about 5 minutes in each game where he looks like he's going to do something and then just doesn't do it. Looks tired after the first 6 minutes on the pitch.
Yeah. Well, guys, final words on this game. I gotta finally eat something.
I have no words.
Final words for me. I'm gonna take my wife out on a date, go play some Top Golf, and
yes,
enjoy, Will.
Yeah,
and
enjoy that.
We'll be back. We'll be back tonight around 10 p.m. Eastern time for the late night rant show. But
there'll be a lot of rants. There will be a lot of rants. And of course, you guys can see Chris. He's usually around everybody's show, and Scott. I know Scott will be there tonight, and so I'm probably gonna pop on the stateside stream tonight. But man, it's just I'm very few for words, because I mean this was up there. This was up there in regards of performance, and I mean at halftime I was just like, I don't really want to watch the second half, and it was no better, a little bit better, but no different. Arsenal had control, could have scored more, and it is what it is. This Wednesday is going to be pretty much a counseling session. It's going to be a counseling section. Aaron's coming on. Aaron, we're about to leave. I'll let you get the last word, Aaron.
Yeah, am I on?
Yep.
Aaron.
You get the last word.
All right. Yep. Yeah, all right, guys. Yeah, sorry for the late join in there. Obviously, I'm fucking smashed up with depression after watching that today.
Yeah.
Depression?
It's just, no, all right, hyperbole. But I mean, it really was deflating. It was demoralizing. It was a shocking performance.
Embarrassing.
From the first whistle. Yeah, and I'm good at, I mean, in regards to Nuno, I was one of the people who was saying, give the guy a chance. And I'm a patient person, but I'm starting to turn now. I'm starting to listen to Stelios and Marcelo, and Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit into, oh shit, can Nuno do it? Like, or is he out of his depth here? But I mean, as in regards to the players, I mean, I wouldn't be blaming Nuno for the players' performances today. They were all shocking. And I would not hold Nuno responsible for that. I don't like the fact that he started Ndombele and Dele on the same team. I've never liked to see those two lads play together. I would have far preferred to see Skippy in there alongside Højbjerg, and maybe Ndombele pushed a bit further up, or Dele. But yeah, and I know Will's not into Brian Hill. I'd be starting Brian Hill ahead of Lucas, to be honest. I'd like to see this guy get a run, get a chance. But look, yeah, Captain Hindsight here, and we've all got our views. So yeah, sorry for joining in late, lads.
No,
Murray, I
think
have
it's
no
okay.
words.
I would say it's okay to listen to Stell, because the axe Stell's grinding is at least a consistent one. But I don't know if I would follow Marcelo, because he was the one who was saying we're going to be all right, that all these players were going to come good, that we were going to be.
Yeah, Marcelo was calling Don Paratici,
Yeah.
man. I rated our transfer window 3 out of 10, by the way, and people were saying I'm negative. I'm this, I'm that, whatever, man. I thought, no, this is a bullshit transfer window, and I'm not jumping on that Don Paratici bandwagon whatsoever, and I have never. But yeah, sorry, man.
On the Love Lounge, we decided he was Tom the Consigliere or Fredo, and now
Yeah.
now I would really look at this death. He's not even Tom the Consigliere. He's Fredo.
Build for the future.
Yeah, basically. And
Build for the future. That's what he said, didn't it? Build for the future. What about when we actually needed the actual players to do the job, to make us into a better team, for players to want to come to us? Forget building for the future. What about for now, when we need those players to start coming in and saying, yeah, I want to play for Tottenham? They're going to look at us and go, nah, not interested.
yeah. And like I said,
Fredo, man, it's Fredo Corleone. That's what we got, man. We did not get Tom Hagen, the consigliere. We got Fredo.
Yeah, it's definitely Fredo.
We got
All right.
blindsided.
Yep. All right, guys. I am going to shut it down, guys. Check out the other streams tonight. Will's show later on. Check out Irish. I know he's gonna come on later on, and then check out Tommy's US State Stream. State Stream. I will be on there, and of course Wednesday we will have a counseling session on the Spurs Love Lounge. Try to find.
Yeah, you're getting the Queen on. Are you getting the Queen on this time?
Yeah, we're getting the Queen on. It's more entertaining than our club currently, and so man, this sucks. Like when Spurs lose, especially like this, it just ruins your whole weekend, and so it's just But all right, guys.
Yeah, and America are fucking beating Europe in the Ryder Cup too in the golf. So yeah, I mean, my weekend's just fucked. Sure, yeah. Go
I
ahead,
finished
lads.
work early to watch that game. I should have done the overtime.
Yeah, you lost. Yeah, you lost
Come on.
out on.
Murray, I should have done the overtime and said, fuck the football. But no, I went, no, I'm finishing on time. Watch the football. Biggest mistake. I should have done the overtime.
Yeah, they're costing you money. They cost you funds.
Cost me funds. They broke my heart and cost me funds. Double stab. Double stab.
Give me a cuddle. Give me a cuddle, Chris. We'll be all right, man.
My Irish brother, I'll give you a cuddle. Don't worry.
Good man. We'll get through it, man. We'll get through it.
All right, guys. Come on, you Spurs. Levy out. And I mean it. Levy out.
Yeah, Levy, Enoch. Get them all out.
Levy out, Enoch out. Come on, you Spurs. At least show a bit of pride.
No, that's